All right, cool. So give us some tips. Give us some tips in regards to how we can ensure that we don't go down the route of needing GPs and cure, and prevention.
So first of all, be aware of your body and be aware that every symptom is trying to tell you something. And if you get more than one symptom, they're connected. Even if it's like feels really random in terms of spaces, in terms of like physically on your body. You know, for example, so I had a constant pain in my toe, but yet I was having problems with my period and I knew there was a connection, but I couldn't figure it out. But a lot of people won't make, then a lot of people say, well, you know, I've got one thing wrong with my toe and something's going on with my
Yeah, they don't see a connection.
And also we're very good at just accepting symptoms, like that's how it's meant to be. And we're very good at telling ourselves as we get older, this is what happens, and it's not true.
Don't let them put you in a box.
No, we shouldn't, and we shouldn't be aging the way that we are in terms of physically and mentally. A lot of that is to do with kind of what's put out in the media, and a lot of it is about making money in terms of products. So they make you believe that you are going to get old in a certain way. So, for example, wrinkles. You know, you've got all these wrinkle creams, or you've got all these drinks that you can buy, and a lot of them are BS. To be fair, it's all about marketing. So, you know, just realizing that what they're
it's an inside job, isn't it?
It's an inside job, and upside down and back to front. So what they're telling you isn't really what it is, and that's the thing that I learned. And also, don't give up in terms of if you feel within your heart that what you're being told is incorrect, keep going and keep going until you find the answer that you're looking for. If it doesn't resonate with you in terms of the GP saying, well, you know, oh, well, you're just not well, pop this pill, keep going, like keep questioning. So I had GPs that literally kicked me out of their room because I was like, well, no, this is not making sense to me. I recorded quite a lot, which you're not meant to do. You're meant to ask for permission. But the reason I was doing that was because I had such bad brain fog. I'd leave there and I won't remember what I was saying, what he had said.
Yeah.
And I still have them to this day. And funny enough, I've had a lot of problems with my phone recently, and I listened back to some of those, and it's like hearing it now, knowing what I know, none of what they told me was making any sense. Like they literally put me off. So I would say really pushing forward. And trying to find out what's really going on for you is really important as well. Yeah.
All right, cool. Is there any, because
Did I answer
again?
I went off.
No, it wasn't really a question per se. It was just giving tips, like if whatever tips you think are good for people to take in. Do you get what I mean?
So you asked me this morning about 5 tips. Do you want me to include those now?
Yeah, let's go through them.
Okay, so, and this was only this morning, so I haven't written them down. This is just from my head. So in terms of health-wise, the things that I would say are key. Sleep is one of the top ones. And
so guys, number 1, sleep. Jot that down. Let us know when you've got it down. Notes emoji, gem emoji. Chloe, I know you're doing 2 things at once, but if you are able to, just jot it down so anyone who misses it. Yeah, sorry, Bob.
Yeah, so sleep is really important, getting at least 8 hours a night. And I'm probably, out of all the things that I work on, that's one that's a continuous battle for me for many reasons. I can have really good weeks. And then I'm very much, like you said, if I've thought of an idea, that's it, I'm up, I need to go. I need to, not sleep very much. But sleep is really, really key for obvious reasons. We need to be able to regenerate our body. And if we don't get that sleep in, not happening. And it slows down the process of aging as well. So ladies, I know that's really important to everybody. So sleep is key. This whole thing of, grind and attack, and I agree, yeah, I agree, but you have to have the balance.
But you got to know when to defend. That's what I said last week. You got to know when to defend.
It's just go, go, go all the time. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You've got to find that balance, and it's really important. And it's really important just to say, because a lot of people don't make the connection. Sleep is important to weight. So a lot of people that are, that talk to me that say, "Oh, I want to lose weight," is connected to sleep. So it's enough sleep.
My PT's been saying that a lot. Like, I obviously I've heard you say this for a long time, but I never realized how much emphasis. Like, he's always like, "Did you sleep? Have you been sleeping?" Because it's just repair as well. It's the repair stage, isn't it?
but also in terms of cortisol, in terms of hunger, in terms of putting on weight, it's really key to make sure you're sleeping.
All right, so that's number one. Number one. Number two.
Number two, junk, sugar, just processed food. It's an absolute killer. We're not eating the foods that our parents ate. We're not eating the foods that our grandparents' parents ate. You know, the soil is damaged. Everything is processed. We're not eating real food anymore. And it's really key to make sure that you're eating real food, not packaged. I was the queen of packaged, as you know. Like literally about quick, easy. And a lot of it was to do with the fact that we were working so hard in terms of full-time job, entertainment company. So a lot of my stress came from trying to manage all those things and thinking, don't need the break, you know. So real food is important. And I don't know if I've done separately or part of it, but plants are key to health. You know, a lot of money, including myself in the past, on supplements, but you can get everything you need in plants. Like plants are hella key to health. More so, fruit is as well. Fruit and vegetables, vegetables, you need more intake than you do of fruit. So fruit and veg are key. Plants are key.
Something I also add in there as well, because when you just spoke about like managing so much at the time, so obviously it led to you kind of being more packaged food and whatnot. For people that are maybe like not necessarily the parent in here, but the children or the child or whatever, notice the patterns of your parents. Like it's very important. So for example, like I noticed, like even when mum just said that, like that is me. So don't repeat the same cycle if it hasn't led to a healthy outcome. Like notice those patterns, because we are conditioned by our parents, so we just think it's normal. As I've been saying for the last half an hour, I've just known to attack. That's what I've seen. I've seen my mum do it, so it must be fine. But you've got to have the understanding that, okay, only because they did it, they might now spend the rest of their life undoing it. So why not just save the time?
Going on from that, what I would say is, and I talk about, bang on about some things a lot on my story, but it's because I really want it to resonate with people, that we believe that because our parents have a certain illness, condition, that we're going to get it. And that genetic component is very small, and that window of that person being ill the way you are is actually very small if you understand how nutrition works, because we actually turn on and turn off certain genes, which is called epigenetics. So a lot of the time we're told, for example, oh, my mum's got diabetes, I'm going to get diabetes. It doesn't have to go that way if you educate yourself enough to realise you can't live the same lifestyle as your parents did, and you can turn those genes off. So don't get sucked into it. Again, it goes back to being told by the media, you know, that things are hereditary, and if your parents get it, we have a lot of through our diet and our mindset and how we're kind of living, which is not what we're told, because, like I said, it comes back down to money. It comes back down to
of course.
sell.
So number two, healthy eating. As you guys can see, Chloe is doing 100 things at once, super Chloe, but she's also putting the points in there as well. So number two, healthy eating and ditch processed food. Number three, Mum?
Water. Water is key. And this is probably something that I was really, really poor at back in the day. I could literally go a whole day without drinking water, or a small bottle. Like, anything that ever saved me was in the morning. I'd always have. Can you remember what I used to have first thing in the morning?
Yeah, hot water and lemon.
Got it. And that's not really changed unless it's going to be like a herbal tea or whatever. But literally, if it wasn't for that, I probably would have fallen quite ill a long time before. But I think the fact that I was getting something first thing in the morning, really, really key. So water, at least.
Chloe wrote it like a water. But yeah, water.
I mean, you know, we're mainly water, and it's key to health. We need to be drinking enough water. So between 1.5 and 2 litres, depending on, and if you're working out, maybe a little bit more. Yeah. So that's
cool. That was number three. Number four?
Number four. So what have I done? Remind me. So I've done...
Yeah, I'm not the one for that. All right. So basically, you've done number one, sleep. Number two, Oh,
Sleep, whole foods, water. Sleep, whole foods, water. So this one a little bit separate but similar, into slightly similar. Stress. Stress is
oh
a
my days.
killer. Like it's an,
Stress is a killer.
um, and I say it's a little bit linked to sleep, but obviously stress isn't just about sleep. It's about
Yeah.
stress is behind every illness. And again, I would say
Facts, man.
fact that I was trying to, I remember a friend of mine was always calling me Superwoman, and I remember thinking, I'm not Superwoman, I'm just doing what I need to do. And then Superwoman crashed, basically.
Yeah.
Managing your stress is key to health.
I think this one is so important, especially because I know we've got a big audience of like attackers and entrepreneurs. Like this one is so key. Like this is something that I'm more in the I still battle with this one because bam bam bam, got all of these businesses. Let's get it done, let's get it done, let's get it done, let's get it done. And it's gone.
You are a typical client that would come to me because they've literally become ill and they've crashed. Like
I was a typical.
Was your lifestyle in terms of managing businesses. If you look at people that often fall ill, they are the high flyers. They are the ones that are just constantly go.
Yeah.
And how to balance that. So I get your attack, live for attacking, but we also need to manage our stress and in whatever way suits you, because it doesn't work for not everyone.
Yeah.
Like I was.
No, definitely, that's true.
I was listening to Janae Aiko interview yesterday because, funny enough, like probably her new album that's come out that spurred me to do it. Considering how much I've never listened to her interviews, and one of the things that she was saying, and I could really resonate with it, was that part of her meditation is driving. I love to drive. Like,
you and me both.
Is a meditation.
I actually, do you know what? Because I don't drive much here, I feel like I've lost that part of like that therapy.
Yeah. So whatever that therapy looks like to you, do it. Don't be stressed by, because I've had some of my followers like DM me about meditation and stuff like that. Really difficult, and if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, and it may work for you down the line, it may never work for you, but you find whatever works for you to de-stress. So personally, me driving on a motorway, music up, I'm good.
Same.
The one. Same. So fight stress, managing stress.
Something Dad used to always say as well. He used to have it at the bottom of all his emails. If you sacrifice your health for wealth, you won't have any. Wait, if you sacrifice your health for wealth, you'll end up consuming your wealth trying to repair your health. Like literally. So even for like the go-getters, like I remember even you saying this to me, like if you're doing your thing and you're making this money and whatever, like use some of that money to do something like for your health. And I know the reason why Tyra is just commenting loads because she's very big on that. And yes, Tyra, I am also big on it. These not think like I just want them to attack until they die. I don't want that. But it's just, it's balance, isn't it? It's just finding the balance.
There with your balance. I see you going to the gym. I see you.
Yeah, like I'm trying to get the balance because I think one thing I will say, I think living here has helped it because it's kind of like part of the culture a lot more here. Being healthy is like, let me not say healthy, but definitely more fit. Like being fit is definitely part of the culture here. A lot of people got PTs or they train. Obviously, you're in a hot country, so you're more like your weight, for example, is more exposed. And I also think that it's a slower pace. Dubai is like a slower pace, even though it's still so much is happening. But our pace is so much slower here.
Yeah, but
it's just so much slower.
Yeah, that's the case with a lot of places that anywhere that you go on holiday, you notice that me personally, if I go on holiday, I noticed that a lot of the places that I go, the pace is slower, which is why, for example, we bought property in Spain because it was like Gran Canaria is just, the pace is they're so chilled. But also you've got the sunshine. The sunshine is key to health. Point, but it definitely is key to health. So it's giving you the motivation, full stop, just to wake up.
Yeah. So everyone move to a hot country. Number 4, move to a hot country.
Go.
Yeah. All right, last but not least, number 5.
Mindset is key. So just to say, obviously I'm a nutritional therapist, but being a nutritional therapist, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm a nutritional therapist. There's a difference. And the difference is that we're looking at holistic practice. This isn't just about nutrition, because I've seen clients that, like I had a client that she was eating the healthiest diet, like literally she walked in, and this was one of the client I was seeing was for my exam. So she's walked in, and this woman's diet was hella healthy. Like there was something in there that I could change, because she'd done all her research. And I looked at this, and now remember, I'm being watched on a camera in a room, and I'm coming up with this new plan. And there was hardly anything on there that I could improve apart from more water. And my point was that you can have the best diet in the world. The best diet in the world. It's just not about just having the best diet in the world. It's about mindset. It's a holistic practice, all over, being an all-rounder. Just the right foods is not going to do it. So for this,
so like give it some examples, so like meditation.
So for this woman, her biggest problem. So this is why we spend like 2 hours in clinic. We don't do like others do, where you're in and out in 5 or 10 minutes. We spend 2 hours in the clinic. And this woman, as I went through her history, all her family members, apart from one, had died of kidney issues. So her problem was her fear. She was in so much fear of falling ill that she wasn't living. And, you know, we ask things like, oh, how much time do you spend in nature? How much time do you spend with friends? And she literally didn't leave her house. All she was doing was researching. Because she knew how her brother, 3 brothers had died. There was literally one person left in her family. So my plan was a lot to do with mindset, holistic practice, as opposed to a diet, because her diet didn't actually need to really change. But her mindset of thinking, well, I just need to constantly research, I'm going to fall ill. She believed she was actually going to fall ill. Well, she's going to fall ill. I mean, that's how the universe works. You know? For her on her plan, it was about every week meeting a friend, going out for a walk once a week with a friend, meditation, which she started to do, yoga, which she really loved doing, just getting her really out, because she spent so much time at home, and stopped researching. And I get it, because I'm the queen of research. Like, I'll research scientific studies, I'll research all about nutrition, because had I not researched, I wouldn't have ended up even studying. But you have to go, time out. Like, all I'm doing is attracting this illness to me. All I'm doing is talking about cancer, talking about kidney issues, talking about SIBO, even though my whole journey is
do you find, so how is that balance going to work for you? Because your topic, this is what your brand's about.
This is what my brand's about. And interestingly enough, I thought about this quite recently, in terms of, you know, there's a school of thought that if you're constantly, you know, living that life, it's never really going to leave you, because like I am still healing. You know, I'm just about to do another test to find out where I'm at in terms of my healing journey. And you do have to get to a point where you put it to rest. How do I put that to rest? I suppose it's about balance. So I'm not just going to specialize in SIBO. I'm going to specialize in any kind of gut issue. But you also.
But then, sorry to interrupt, but then, like, for example, say you're like a motivational speaker, yeah? Say it's like, I don't know, like Gary Vee. Him always referring to like something that might have happened to him. That might just be like that's his story, innit? Do you get what I mean? So like,
I think the thing is, I don't think there's anything wrong with the story, because actually that's what makes us the people that we are. But you have to connect from that story.
Detach from it, yeah. In the sense of you can't have like that same maybe chip on your shoulder, or like even if it's like a weight loss, or like when you was broke. There's so many different examples, but you just kind of got to detach from that thing, innit?
Yeah, and one of the ways that I do that is I don't call it my SIBO. So for people that don't know, SIBO is a condition that can come up, but it's not my SIBO because I don't own it. It's the SIBO. Yeah. So I have to disconnect myself from it to a certain degree. Met along my journey in terms of studying, everybody's got a story. Everybody's come into it for a health reason, whether it's their dad that's been ill, whether it's a family member, whether it's them. This is the beauty of nutritional therapists. They've all got a story. They're not in, they haven't just about making money. They've all got, there isn't one that I've met that hasn't got a backstory to it. So, yeah, that's how I kind of balance it in terms of there are times where I can spend, at the moment, I've spent a lot of time researching SIBO because even though I studied for four years, part of learning about that condition, a very small part. So I needed to in terms of my health. But I get to a point, and I'm there really, of knowing there's a little bit I feel like I still need to research. But once I get to that point of where I know it like the back of my hand, and I really do in terms of SIBO, I'm done. Like, I don't need to look at more studies. I don't need to keep researching on PubMed. But what I do need to do as a nutritional therapist is keep up to date with changes, because they're learning things all the time. So like the microbiome is something that's very new. You know, understanding the gut is very new. So I constantly have to be seen as still learning. It goes
stay on top of your craft. Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I kind of manage it.
Cool. So just to recap for those who always ask at the end, number 1 was sleep. Number 2, healthy eating and ditching processed foods. Number 3 was water.
Plants.
Oh yeah, plants as well, plant-based as well. Number 4 was managing your stress, and number 5 was the mindset as well. And now I know there's a few questions